So hi guys, today I'm going to do an explanation about the engine layout industry. Okay, so for all car enthusiasts, I think so this video will be helpful, and for non-car enthusiasts, I think so you could get some informations regarding engines. Okay, so now let's take a look at the engines. Okay, inline three is the most basic engine that we could describe. So the inline three, it is technically smaller than the inline 4 and it is more efficient, and I heard that many people after buying inline 3 cars, they have to go with the vibration issue. Okay, so which means technically inline 3 is unstable, so it will vibrate. It may just slightly okay, acceptable, but because it's unstable, so car makers now only started to research about inline trees, and they use in their hypercars, in their high-powered cars. So that's the research of the inline tree. Many cars that's running on inline trees, the ZR, the Mercedes hypercar, the one, and also we do have X50s, Volvo cars, 3 cylinders. And then next up, 4, inline 4. Most cars, all the way from A segment to D segment, the basic engine will be the inline 4. They will consume more space than inline 3, obviously, because the arrangement will be quite packed, okay, because it's straight. So you need more engine space compared to V4s, okay, but they are not as big as inline 6 or inline 5. They're just a good size, okay. And next up, inline 5. Inline 5 is the most rarest engine that you will ever heard. Okay, this engine, why it's rare? Because it is expensive, and also the development cost will be even more higher than inline 4s, and they are also slightly smaller than the inline 6. Okay, so this engine was firstly revealed by VW Group, Volkswagen Group. Okay, obviously they own Audi, Bugatti, Volkswagen, Porsche. They started this ideology, so they developed inline 5. So which car used inline 5? The RS3 and the RSQ3, and also the Ford Focus STI 2.5 5-cylinder engine. Okay, they are also one of the most rarest, until some of them kind of forgotten the inline 5's history. Okay, so yep, that's it for the inline 5. And next up, inline 6. Inline 6 is the most common engine in many supercars such as Sub M, Sub AMG, or S for the matter. Okay, many cars use inline 6 as their performance bracket starts from there, the epitome starts from there. Okay, inline 6, they will take more space. Obviously, we know the BMW's B58 engines, which is technically proven how good is inline 6 of BMWs, and you also use the N55, we all know. And then Mercedes, they also use inline 6, but it's very rare. Even the C43 uses V6 engine. Okay, so if you take more space, it's longer, and the engine bay quite cramped actually. Okay, when you take a look at the B58 new BMW's engine products, it needs more space, and the hood need to be bigger, so to occupy inline 6 engines. And then next up, inline 8. Okay, inline 8 is very rare because car makers tend to use V8 because it can save some space, and then you don't need big engine compartments, and that will sometimes cause the car's design to be ruined. Okay, so inline 8 is very rare as well. Back in the early 1980s, 1970s, they used to use inline 8 for giving a performance hump in terms of horsepower and torque. And then next up, V engines. This is a step forward compared to inline engines. V engines, they are V-shaped, and they are more compact. Okay, they're just easy. They're just complex compared to inlines, which needs bigger hood, bigger engine space. But this one, just a V-shape. They will divide. Okay, so technically this engine will be more fuel efficient and more saving compared to inlines. Okay, and the assembly won't take as time as much. Okay, so V engine starting from V4. V4 is actually used in motorcycles, as we all know. Okay, V6, Alphard C43, E53 used V6 to save the hood, engine hood bay. Okay, so they don't consume a lot of space. If you look at the one great example is the Alphard. If you look at the hood, right, the hood is small. It's not as big as some C43s or whatever. They're small, but Toyota tend to place a V6 engine because it's complex and you don't need much of space. And then V8, okay, V8 we all know BMW's proper M, Mercedes AMG, Audi RS, and then Porsches, and then Aston Martins, and then also Bentleys. Most of the cars they use 4-liter V8 engine, or some of them is 5-liter, or some of them is 6.2-liter from the previous generation C63. Okay, V8 is common, and I like V8 engines because they sound proper and they feel good to drive one of them. Okay, so V8 engines is technically why they don't put inline 8 is because inline 8 will consume a lot of space. That's the amount of space they take is humongous, and V8 is nice. It's cost saving method, and also it don't take as much of space and fuel efficient as well, because the whole engine is built from an efficient platform. Okay, so they don't take as much as inline engines. And then next up, V10. Okay, V10 engine is, we know Huracan and BMW's F1 inspired V10s for their E60 M5. We all know that as well. Crazy epitome engine. I think so. That's one of the most best engine for F1 built. Okay, so V10s they are quite less in amount for usage of the cars, but yeah, they sound greater than V8. Okay, and we all know in the non-turbocharged era, BMWs and other cars tend to do the V10, which is a very big engine, 5 cylinders inside, 5 cylinders inside. Okay, and then next up, V12. Okay, V12 was also not many cars using V12 right now. Okay, only the M760 Li, and then we have the S65 V12. Okay, and car makers now ditching the V12 and then coming to lower displacement engines. Okay, so yep, goodbye to V12 as well, and V10s, and also maybe V8. Okay, so that is the era where proper engines. It's engines. Okay, and next up, that's it for the V engines. Okay, we do have V16, but it's very old. Okay, and now we're going to move to the magic of the VW's group innovation, which is VR engines. Okay, VR engines. Okay, let me explain you. Find that what is VR actually. Okay, VR is in a different situation actually. So what Volkswagen Group did is back then when they do the Corrado, the Volkswagen Corrado, which is famous as well. Okay, this car is assembled with VR engines. That's the first development of VR engines. And how they work is actually because Volkswagen don't want to take a V6 engine and then just dump into the Volkswagen Corrado because they want to save some space. So what they do is taken from the inline 4 pattern and divide with 1 3 cylinders and 1 3 cylinders that side in just in a one box. So that's how the VR6 works. They are very small, they are wide, simple. Okay, so Volkswagen don't need a lot of much, and they flip the position to become in middle, so it's wider and it don't consume a lot of space as well. So that's the differentiation. And VR6. Okay, so that is the particular Volkswagen's best decision to build VR6 engine because it saves space, and nobody else built VR6 until today. So I don't know why. Maybe because of the emission laws and whatever. And they want to just be a strict law from Europe. Okay, so they just stick it. And then next up, we do have VR8 engines. Okay, VR8 is the secretly developed engine from Volkswagen Group. It is actually considered because of the Bugatti Veyron. So Bugatti Veyron was initially planned to have W18, but Volkswagen did some research, and what they do is make the VR8 first, and next up I will tell you the magic, what happens next. So please stay in this video. And the magic starts with W engines. Okay, many people have heard W engine, and what is W, what is like V, what is the differences. So now I'm going to answer you. Okay, 2 VR6 engines is equals to W12. Okay, that's the magic 12. So what they do is, technically they just put VR and suddenly a W shape appears. So that's how W12 engine appear in the car industry. Okay, so next up, the VR8 engine. Why they keep it secretly and now they're going to do something with it. Okay, which is developing W16. Okay, 2 VR8 is equals to 1 W16. That's how they developed the VR and the VR engine 4. Okay, so initially Bugatti planned to keep W18 engines for their Bugatti Veyron, but since Volkswagen want to make it more efficient, they put instead a W16 16.4 liters. Okay, that's how the initial development of VR and the W engine runs. Okay, so now I explained about the W engines, and next we're going to move for a very special engine, which is a long-living engine, boxer engines, also called as flat engines. Okay, so this engine was developed by these two epic brands. One is Japanese, one is German. Okay, which is Porsche and Subaru. Okay, Subaru and Porsche firstly developed boxer engine. Boxer engine is basically totally different out of the syllabus. They are, instead the piston going up and down, they do it left and right and make the engine flat. Okay, so that's how Porsche build flat engines. They don't consume more space, but they are wide. Okay, so they need to create a car more wide. So that is flat engines. We have flat 4, we have flat 6. Okay, then Subaru came to the more even efficient solving method. Okay,